Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the 19th episode of PHP with MySQL Crash Course for Beginners, Object-Oriented Programming, also known as OOP. Object-Oriented Programming is a programming paradigm that organizes code into objects, allowing developers to model real-world entities with properties and behaviors. It includes concepts that you would like to know at this beginner's level. Let me share my screen with you. That includes classes, objects, properties, methods, access modifiers, inheritance, abstract class or method, interface, and trait. Let me get rid of it. Let's begin with the classes and objects. In object-oriented programming, a class is a blueprint for creating objects. It encapsulates properties and methods that define the structure and behavior of objects. Consider you have an e-commerce project and you are going to create a product class. So for that, I'm gonna bring up VSCODE. And if you need to learn more about VS Code, you can watch my VS based series and find the link in the description below. And let me bring up our Explorer, and here I'm gonna create a new folder, say OOP, and let's select our sample file, and I'm gonna cut this sample file from here right now, and let's paste it in here, and let's make a copy of it, and I'm gonna rename it as say oop-inro. Hit enter. Let me get rid of the Explorer, and here I'm gonna add a couple of PHP tags, and let's add in here say echo hello world followed by semicolon. Hit save. Now I'm gonna start my live server, stop live server, open with live server. That's gonna bring up our browser. Let me get rid of this tab and let's open new one. And I'm also gonna get rid of this tab for now. Let's get back to VS Code and start our second extension, that is PHP server, with the command serve project, and that turns the server on. Let me get rid of the terminal, and now let me resize the editor and get back to our browser, and I'm gonna resize that as well. Now let's browse to local host followed by PHP tutorial followed by the name of the file or the folder OOP / and the name of the file that we have just created, that is OOP-inro.php. Hit enter, and that displays us hello world. Let me zoom in a bit. Now that looks perfect, and make sure that you have started the auto reload. Say I'm gonna add S here, and let's hit save, and that reloads the page. Sorry, that auto reloads the page. Let's get back to VS Code. I'm gonna get rid of this line of code. Let's go to the next row, and first of all we are going to jump into syntax of the class. That includes class keyword followed by name of the class, and as far as naming conventions are concerned, it always starts with uppercase letter followed by the code block. Let me show you. Here we have got a class followed by the name of the class, can be say product followed by the code block, and here you can define the code of your class. And I'm gonna start with its properties. Say I'm gonna define here one, say public, and the first property is gonna be title of the product followed by semicolon, and this public keyword is one of the access modifiers, and we'll get to all of them in a little bit. This $title is one of the properties of this product class. After that I'm gonna add another property followed by public keyword, and that's gonna be say $price followed by semicolon. And secondly, let's talk about constructor. It's a special method that is invoked when an object is created. It allows initializing object properties or performing other setup tasks upon object instantiation. Let me add one. Public function followed by the name of the constructor, that is __ construct, and this is the template of the construct. And here what I'm gonna do, first it will need 2 arguments. So I'm gonna define the parameters here, say $title, $, price. Let me wrap the editor and make sure that I have typed the correct spelling, and after that let's set the values for these properties, these two properties, say the title and the price. So that's gonna be say $this followed by arrow and the name of the property, that is title, and that's gonna be equal to this variable as a value of our first property, followed by a semicolon, and this will be set while you will be creating the object of this class. And after that let's make a copy of it, and the second property is price, and let's copy this variable from here and paste it here. That's how you can set the values for the properties of your class. And as far as this keyword is concerned, it's a reference to the current object within a class. It's used to access object properties or methods within the class. And then we have this arrow operator. It is used to access object properties. Now you can also create a custom method. Let me comment that out, go to the next row, and you can define that by public keyword followed by the name, or function keyword followed by the name of the method, say get info, followed by a parenthesis and the code block. Now right now we don't need any parameter for this method. Let's go to the next row, and the function of this method will be, say it's gonna return a text or a string that's gonna be say product title, and here I'm gonna concatenate this title followed by, let's concatenate here comma, and after that I'm gonna add here say price colon space, and now let's concatenate here our second property, that is this price followed by semicolon, and I forgot to add here concatenation period. It's safe, and we don't get any result because we haven't created an object of this class. So after that let's move on to that how you can create objects of this product class. Say I'm gonna define a new variable here, say $product, and it's gonna equals to, and you always create objects of the classes followed by the literal new keyword and the name of the class, and in this case it is product, and it requires two arguments, the title and price, and let's pass it here as shoes followed by comma, and the price can be say 100 followed by semicolon. And this is how you can create an object of any of the class. Say let's name it as product 1. Now if you want to access its public properties or methods, you can do that just by let's echo $product1 followed by arrow operator and the property or method. Say if you want to echo the details of the product that you have just created, let's invoke its custom method, that is get info followed by semicolon, and as you hit save you get this message printed on the screen. It reads product title shoes price 100. And say if you want to create another product, now you can create as many products as you prefer, say dollar, or let's cut that from here, and I'm gonna make a copy of these two lines of code. Let's add some line break after that, and let's make it product 2, and let's change the arguments here. That's gonna be say t-shirt, and its price can be say 99, and as you hit save we get our second product. The title is t-shirt and the price is 99. If you want, you can add another line break there just to make a difference. So that's how you can create a class and its object and access its public properties and methods. These OOP concepts provide a robust foundation for managing and organizing code in an e-commerce or other applications, allowing the creation of scalable and maintainable applications or softwares. Next, we are going to move on to, say, access modifiers. And for that, first let me prettify this class or file. Let's cut this extra space from here as well, because we also upload these files in our GitHub repository. If you like, you can get the link in the description below and make this useful for your own practice. It's safe. And let me bring up my Explorer and let's select sample, and I'm gonna make a copy of it and let's rename it as OOP-access-modifiers modifiers. Let me get rid of the Explorer. So here I'm gonna add a couple of PHP tags, and after that let's echo hello world, just to make sure that your auto reload is working. Now let's copy the name of the file just to avoid any typo error. Let's get rid of it and go to our browser, and let's replace the name of the file with the file we have just copied. Hit enter, and that's working. Let me get rid of this line of code from here. Instead of making a new class, let's copy this product class from here, paste that in here. So first of all, let's discuss this public property. Properties and methods declared as public can be accessed from anywhere, both inside and outside the class. And after that, let's make it this second property as private. It's safe, and private properties and methods are only accessible within the class that defines them. They cannot be accessed outside the class, not even from child classes. And don't worry about it, we'll discuss child classes in detail in inheritance segments. And after that, I'm gonna define here another access modifier that is protected. Let's add one, say $category followed by a semicolon, and these product properties and methods are accessible within the class that defines them and in child classes that extend to this class. After that, we have constructor, and here I'm gonna add our third property that is private, and let's make it category. And you will also need to receive it as the parameter, say category. Let's copy this from here, and I'm gonna add that here as well. And this price, sorry, I accidentally cut the price. Let's paste that back in here. It's safe. Now we have got set the values for all of our three access modifiers: public, private, and protected. Now to display the information about the category of the product, you will also need to concatenate this property here as, say, I'm gonna concatenate here, comma, category, colon, and let's concatenate here the category property of this class. Now let's create object of this class. $product. I'm gonna say that's gonna equals to new product, and now it needs 3 arguments. First is the title, that's gonna be, say, T-shirt, and the second can be, say, 99, its price, and the third is category, and that is April. So after passing these arguments, first let's try to access a public property. Let's comment that out, go to the next row, and since we have created the object of this class, we can access its properties by giving a reference of this object, say product followed by arrow and the name of its property. That's gonna be, say, title. And before that, I'm gonna add here, say, echo. Let's concatenate it here, and the title is, or say, product title colon space, hit save, and we get the title of the product. Let me add some room. Let's get back all the way up, and after accessing its public property, now you would like to access its, sorry, access its private property followed by semicolon, and let's copy that line of code from here and paste that in here, and I'm gonna change that, say, price. Sorry, I always make this mistake, and let's make this the upper P, that should be price. Now as you hit save, you get a warning. I think I should add some line break here. Hit save, and we get the title here, and we also get the title here. So why do we get, alright, so that should be product price. Hit save, and that throws an error on line number first. It reads undefined variable price in this location 31. So in 31 we don't have, that should be, sorry, that should be product. All right, now that reads perfect. Now you receive the actual error, fatal error, uncaught error, cannot access private property. So that's the issue, that you cannot access private property outside the class. Let me comment this out, go to the next row, and let's scroll all the way up. Let's try to access its protected property. Let's comment that out, go to the next row, and now I'm gonna echo, say, product category followed by semicolon space, and then I'm gonna concatenate here, say, dollar product and its protected property, that is category. And if you notice that the VS Code also do not suggest you the protected property of this class. Let's add semicolon here, otherwise we have already defined it here, sorry, here. Let's copy just to avoid any typo error. Hit save. First let me comment this line out, hit save, and we get, sorry, not this line, that's say public. Hit save, and we get fatal error again, uncaught error, cannot access protected property at line number 34. This is right here. Let me unwrap the editor, and on the line number 34 we have this error. And VS Code also, and IntelliFence, make sure that you have also installed IntelliFence if you are using Visual Studio Code or any of the code editors. So that also suggests you that this is undefined property category. Finally, let me comment that out, and if you want to access all of the properties, you can access them via its public method that we have also defined here, getInfo. So access properties via public method. Let's comment that out, go to the next row, and now let's echo dollar product and its public method, that is getInfo. That also suggests you, followed by semicolon. Hit save, and now you get, let me comment this line out as well. Hit save, and now you get all the properties at once. Product title, that is t-shirt, price 99, and the category is April. So that's how you can access all of the properties at once via public method, but its private and protected properties can only be accessed within a class. Now we are going to move on to static keyword. Static keyword is used to declare properties and methods within a class that can be accessed directly without needing to instantiate the class. Meaning that you have instantiated a class or created an object of this product class right here. Say if you don't want to get into this process and you want to directly access any of the properties, you can access that with the help of static keyword. Let me show you what I mean by that. First, let's get back to our Explorer, and here I'm gonna select sample, make a copy, and I'm gonna rename it as oop-static-keyword, and let's copy the name of the file. Sorry, that should be oop. Let's select the name of the file. Let me get rid of the Explorer, and let's add here a couple of PHP tags, and I'm gonna echo here, say static keyword followed by semicolon. And now let's go to, or before moving on, let's hit save, and now go to the browser and let's paste the name of the file here. Hit enter. Let me get rid of this line of code from here. Go to the next row, and first of all, let's define a product class again with a static property and method, and that you can do just by class, and the name of the class can be product, and let's define a code block. Here first I'm gonna define its public property, that's gonna be $price, and the second is gonna be say public discount, and let's add $sign here followed by a semicolon, and after that I'm gonna define here its method, that's gonna be public say function followed by the name of the method, that's gonna be apply discount followed by parenthesis and the code block. And make sure that this method is going to require a parameter, say $price. Let me wrap the editor. This method is going to function as it's gonna return the discounted price, and that can be achieved by adding here $price or the original price, or let's make it, I guess, original price, original price. That sounds better, I guess. That's gonna return original price followed by multiplication and an expression. That should be 1 minus self followed by double colons and $discount. And I think I did not add the value of discount rate. That should be say discount rate, and that's gonna be equals to say 0.1 followed by semicolon, and it gives you an error, syntax error, unexpected token, that is curly bracket, self : discount. And why do I get this error? So if I cut that from here, we don't get this error anymore. Let's paste that back in here, hit save, and the error goes away. Now as far as this self keyword is concerned, it is used to refer to the current class, and after that these double colon, also known as scope resolution over here, it is used to access static properties, methods, constants, and overridden methods in context of classes and objects. Right now I don't have any static method or property, but just for the sake of demonstration, let's keep it right there. And after that, the purpose of this segment is to show you that how you can access any of the properties or methods without creating its objects. Say if you want to access its method to display the discounted price, right here, this is the method that I'm talking about, apply discount. Let's copy that, and after that I'm gonna define a new variable here, say dollar original price. That's gonna be equals to say 100, and after that let's add another variable, say discounted price is equals to, now here I'm gonna add discounted price colon, and now let's concatenate here or try to access the products method, which is apply discount, without creating its objects. And you always access say product scope resolution operator, and let's try to access apply. It does not suggest you any, just because we haven't defined any static property or method yet. Now to do that, and it's useless to go ahead because it suggests you right here undefined class constant. So what you can do, if I copy that method from here and paste that in here, it still shows you an error followed by semicolon, and it also needs an argument, that is original price. Let's copy that from there and paste that in here, followed by semicolon. Now as you try to hit save, we get failure error, non-static method, uncaught error, non-static method, product apply discount. So to access static methods, first you will need to specify the method as static, and you can do that just by adding a keyword static followed by public keyword. And you can also make any property static just by specifying a static keyword followed by public keyword to any of the properties. Now we have successfully specified the static keyword to one of the properties, which is discounted rate, and now you are able to access this static property with this procedure, self double colon and the static property. And now outside the class, we haven't created any object of this class, but we are able to access this method because this is defined as static. And notice that VS Code also does not suggest you any error here. Now if I hit save, we don't get any error. So after that, let's echo dollar discounted price followed by semicolon, hit save, and you successfully get the discounted price. So that's how you can access any of the properties or methods of any of the classes without creating its object. Now let's explore inheritance and illustrate it with a product hierarchy where different types of products inherit properties and methods from a base product class. And for that, let me bring up my Explorer, and here I'm gonna make a copy of our sample, and let's rename it as oop-inheritance.php, and let's copy the name of the file, hit enter, and let me get rid of our Explorer, and I'm gonna add some PHP tags here, and let's echo inheritance just to make sure that our auto release is working. Hit save and go to our browser, and let's paste the name of the file URL, hit save, and that's working. Get back to VS Code and let's get rid of this line of code, and let's define our product class again. The class, say product followed by code block, and here I'm going to define a protected property as dollar title followed by semicolon, and after title I'm gonna add another protected property that's gonna be dollar price followed by semicolon, and let's create our constructor as well. Public function construct, and let's implement it. First I'm gonna assign this title should be, and that's gonna require two parameters, say $title and $price. That should be ICE. Let's wrap the editor, and this title should be equal to $title followed by semicolon, and let's assign the value to price, and that's gonna be equals to $price followed by semicolon. And that's all for the construct. And let's define a public method here, custom method. Let's comment that out, and here I'm gonna define getInfo, or we can also copy this from here, I guess. So let's get back in here. I'm gonna define it again or repeatedly just because to show you how you can easily create a class and its methods, properties, and construct. So that's gonna be public function followed by the name of the function or method, that is getInfo, parenthesis, and the code block. And the function of this method would be, say it's gonna return product title colon, let's concatenate here title, and after that let's concatenate here comma and product price colon, and let's select this property from here and let's concatenate it here followed by semicolon. So that's gonna return the product title, the title of the product, and product price, and this property. After defining our custom method, you can define another class here, say book class, and let's add a keyword here, class book, and that's gonna extend to its parent class, that is product class. And this extends keyword is used to create a subclass that inherits from another class. It can inherit its parent's properties and methods. So here I'm gonna define its private property, that is $author, because it can have information of its title or price from its parent class, which is right here, product, and all the products might not have author, so that's why we added author here in the book class. And after that, let's create its constructor, public function followed by underscore construct, and it's gonna require three parameters. Number one, product title, second product price, and third will be author. And now let's define the values of the properties. Now to get the information from its parent class, you will need to call its parent's constructor as well. So you can do that just by adding a keyword parent scope resolution operator underscore construct followed by parenthesis, and that will need two parameters, say $product title and second product price, $product price. After that, let's add semicolon, and that undefined variable, we haven't defined it, so that should be PROD product title, and the error goes away. And after defining or specifying parent constructor, first let me tell you this parent keyword refers to the parent of the current class, and this whole expression parent Let me unwrap the editor, and this whole expression that also includes these parentheses, parent, scope resolution operator, and this construct method in PHP is used within a subclass constructor to explicitly call the constructor of its parent class. This allows you to initialize properties or perform actions defined in the parent class before executing the specific operations of the subclass constructor. And after defining or specifying its parents, I'm gonna define the value of its private property, that is $this, arrow operator, and author. And the value will be, say, this variable that will receive at the time of creation of its object as an argument. So paste that in here and add semicolon. After defining all of these properties, constructors, now you are ready to create an object of a book. Let's comment that out, go to the next row, or let me add some room here. Let's go all the way up, and here I'm gonna add a new variable here, say $book equals to new book, and that will need 3 arguments. Say the title of the book would be, say, book 1. The price can be, say, 99, and the 3rd argument will be the author, say John Doe, followed by a semicolon. And now you can access its private method. So let's echo book, and you can get info with the get info method, followed by semicolon. Hit save, and you get 2 details: the title of the book and the price of the book. But you also want to get the author of the book that we passed here as an argument, John Doe. And to do that, you will need to define a method to display book information along with author. So what you can do here, just come in here and define a custom method. Let's add here public function, and the name can be, say, display book info, followed by parenthesis and the code block. And the implementation scope, that's gonna return, you can get this information, say the name of the book and the price, from its parents method, which is gets info. And you can concatenate here, say author. We also concatenate here this author, followed by semicolon. And now let's access this method. Let's copy and paste that in here. Now as you hit save, you also get the 3rd information, which is the author of the book. Now let me tell you that this information, the product title and the product price, you get from parent class, and this information from the child class. That's how you can extend any child class to its parent class. Now for further demonstration, let's add, or I'm gonna copy this whole block of code and let's paste that in here. And now let's make some changes here. Say create another class or a subclass that's gonna be electronic, and instead of author, that's gonna have, say, brand. And I'm gonna make this brands be as uppercase. So that will receive product title, product price, and brand. And after that, that's gonna have a method that will be, say, display electronic info. That throws an error just because you need to make changes here as well. And now you can create an object of this electronic class, electronic, and let's change the variable as well, electronic, and let's specify here our electronic class. The product title can be phone, the price can be, say, 150, and 3rd argument is brand, and that can be brand hyphen X, and to echo its public method you will need to specify here the electronic object. Alright, and before echoing I'm gonna add a couple of line breaks. Hit save, and that's the magic of an inheritance. Here you can get both the information, the title of the product, meaning that you did not give any method to handle the product title or the price here in electronic class, neither in this book class. You defined or you implemented the handling of these two informations in your parent class, which is product, here in getInfo, and only this information you added here in the book class, the author and the brand information of your third class, which is electronic child class. You added this information here as a brand. Otherwise you got these two informations, the title of the product and the price of the product, from its parent class. So that is the magic of inheritance. Next thing you might be interested in, say if you want to prevent modifications to methods or classes, you can use final keyword. For that, let me bring up my Explorer and select sample. Let's make a copy and let's rename it as oop-final-keyword, and let's copy the name of the class, hit enter. Let me get rid of Explorer and let's add some PHP tag here, and here I'm gonna add, say, echo final keyword followed by semicolon. Hit save and go to our browser, and let's replace the name of the file with the file that we have just copied. Hit enter, and we have final keyword here. Let's get rid of this line of code. Go to next row. Let's copy these two classes from here, say the book and the product class, just for the demonstration of final keyword. Let's paste that in here. Hit save, and we get that in here. Now let's try to override its parent's method. Let me get rid of this method. I'm gonna get rid of this line as well. And now let's try to modify the getInfo method of its parent class, which is right here, getInfo. So I'm gonna copy everything from here and paste that in here. Alright, and now let's add, let me wrap the editor. Now I am gonna concatenate here, say author. Let's add some space and comma, colon, space, and now let's concatenate here its author property, and let's paste that in here. And now let's invoke this method here. Now as I hit save, we get the same information. What we have done here is we have modified this method. So say for some reason if you want to prevent from overriding the getInfo method of the parent class, what you will need to do is just come in here to getInfo method of the product class, and before the public keyword just add here a final keyword. Now as you hit save, if you notice that VSCODE also suggests you an error. Method book getInfo cannot override final method. Now if I try to hit save, we also get final error, cannot override final method product getInfo. So that's how you can prevent overriding of any of the method or properties of the parent class. And one more important thing, that if the class is itself defined as a final class, you cannot inherit it to any child class. Say hit save. Now you get an error, final error, class book may not inherit from final class product. That's how you can prevent inheritance of any class if you add a final keyword to it, or you can prevent from overriding any of the parent's method if you add final keyword to its method. After that, you will be interested in abstract classes and method. Abstract classes and methods in PHP allow you to define blueprints for classes and methods that must be implemented by their child classes. They cannot be directly instantiated but contain abstract methods that define method signatures without any implementation details, whereas abstract methods must be implemented in the child classes that extend the abstract classes. Now let's explore it with examples. So for that, I'm gonna close these files for now, and let me bring up my Explorer, and here I'm gonna make a copy of our sample, and let's rename it as oop-abstract-class, and let's select the name of the file, copy, hit enter, and let's add here some PHP tag, and I'm gonna echo here, say abstract class followed by semicolon, hit save, and go to our browser, place the name of the file that we have just copied, hit enter, and that's working. Get back to VS Code. Let me get rid of our Explorer. Now let's get rid of this line of code, and I'm gonna define here an abstract class with the key abstract followed by class keyword and the name of the class, say product, and the code block. Here I'm gonna define a property, say protected, and that should be product title followed by semicolon, and after that let's define a constructor, function construct, and now let's require here $product title. Let's copy that in here and define the value of its protected property, that is this product title equals to the variable. After that, I'm gonna define an abstract method here, or say custom abstract method. You just need to define it to get the product price, but do not need to implement, meaning you don't need to define the body of the method here. So you can define that just by adding an abstract keyword followed by public keyword, function keyword, and the name of the method, that's gonna be get price followed by parenthesis and semicolon. So here we have only defined an abstract method, we haven't implemented it here. What we'll do after that, let's define subclass, say book, and now let's extend this class to our parent class, that is product. Now if you notice that IntelliFence also suggests an error here, that the book does not implement method getPrice, that you will need to implement it here. So for that, before we move on, I'm gonna add a couple of private properties here. Private, say $author colon private $price colon, and after that I'm going to define its constructor, public function construct, and let's require here a couple of parameters, say $product title. Let me wrap the editor, and $book price, let's make it book title, book price, and the third one is going to be book author. After that, you will need to assign the values of its private properties, say $this author is equal to $book author, and then its price equals to book price. And after that, let's call its parent's constructor, say parent construct followed by parenthesis, and it will require a parameter, say $product title followed by semicolon, and this should be, I guess, book title. Alright, the error goes away. Still we have got an error because we need to implement get price here. So let's come in here, go to the next row, and now let's implement the abstract method here. Go to the next row, public function get price, and if you notice that we did not implement it here in the parent class, so you will need to, or you will have to implement it here in the child class. That's the main characteristic of an abstract method or class. So the function of this method would be, say it's gonna return, say book price colon, and now let's concatenate here. Let's copy this property from here and paste that in here, followed by semicolon. Now we don't have any error here. So that's how you can implement any abstract method in the child class. In summary, abstract classes and methods facilitate code organization, standardization, reusability, and polymorphism, contributing to cleaner, more maintainable, and extensible code bases in object-oriented programming. Let me save it and let me prettify the file, and I'm gonna also cut this extra space from here. It's safe. Now let's move on to interface. An interface in object-oriented programming is a blueprint or contract containing a set of method declarations that a class must implement. And now let's bring up our Explorer and let's select the sample.php. I'm gonna make a copy and let's rename it as oop-interface. Let's select the name of the file, copy, hit enter. And I'm gonna add here a couple of PHP tags and let's echo interface. Hit save and let me get rid of our Explorer and go to the browser, and in the address bar let's replace this file name with the file name that we have just created. Hit enter and we get interface. Let's get rid of this line of code, and first of all we are going to define an interface having common method for product categories. So you can define an interface with a keyword, say interface followed by the name of the interface. That's gonna be category interface followed by the code block, and here you can define a method, say public function get category name. You just need to define it here and we'll implement this method in the class that will be extended this interface. Now after that, let's define a class representing electronic products category. Class, I'm gonna add the name of the class here as mobile phone, and that's gonna implement category interface followed by code block. Let me wrap the editor, and you always implement an interface with the keyword implements, and we get an error here. Mobile phone does not implement method get category name. So if you notice that IntelliFence also suggests you an error that you need to implement this method here, get category name. So let's come in here and I'm gonna define here a private property first. That's gonna be $category name followed by semicolon, and now let's define here the constructor, say function followed by underscore construct, and here I'm gonna assign the value of its private property, that is category name, and that's gonna be equals to say electronics followed by semicolon, and after that here is the time to implement the method. Let me comment that out, go to the next row, and let me add some room here. Let's scroll all the way up, and now we are gonna implement the method. Say public function followed by the name of the method, that is get category name. Let's paste that in here, followed by semicolon and the code block, and that's gonna return $this category name followed by semicolon. After that, I'm gonna cut this extra space from here, and let's copy this whole class and define another class. Let's paste that code in here and modify it accordingly. Say I'm gonna make another class with the name that's gonna be t-shirt, and that also implements to category interface. That will also need a private property category name, and here I'm gonna set the value of its private property as an April, APPAREL, and that's also going to return the name of the category when we implement the interface method right here, category name. So interface actually bounds you to implement the methods defined here in the interface. Now let's cut that extra line from here, and I'm gonna create an object of mobile phone. Say $mobile phone equals to new mobile phone, and let's add semicolon, and after that I'm gonna echo $mobile phone, and let's access its category followed by semicolon, and as I hit save we get electronics. And let's add some line break here. Let's copy this whole block of code and paste that in here. And what I'm gonna do, let's select that, and I'm gonna change this to say t-shirt. We have got the class here, and let's make this t lowercase t, and that should also be the lowercase t. Now as I hit save we get electronics and April. So that's how you can make use of interface in object-oriented programming. Now let's discuss about the differences between interface and abstract. Interfaces are helpful for enforcing a specific structure across different classes, promoting code consistency, and allowing multiple classes to be treated in a uniform manner, even if they have different implementations for the methods defined in the interface. Whereas an abstract class can have both fully implemented methods as well as abstract methods. It can include variables, constructors, and methods with defined functionality, and can also have methods that subclasses are required to override. Subclasses can extend only one abstract class due to PHP's single inheritance limitations. On the other hand, an interface contains only method declarations, lacking implementations. All methods declared in an interface must be defined in the class that implements it. Unlike abstract classes, PHP allows implementing multiple interfaces in a single class, enabling greater flexibility. Next thing you would like to move on to is traits. Traits are a mechanism for code reuse that avoids limitations of single inheritance, meaning that a class can only extend to one class. So what if it needs to inherit from multiple classes? Therefore, trait is the solution. So let's get back to VS Code, and let me bring up my Explorer, and let's select sample and make a copy, and let's rename it as oop-traits. Let's select the name of the file, hit enter. Let me get rid of this Explorer, add a PHP tags in here, and let's echo say traits. I always do it just to make sure that our auto reload is working. So hit save and go to our browser, and in the URL I'm gonna replace the name of the file with the file that we have just created. Hit enter and we have got traits. Now let's get rid of this line of code, and first of all let's define a trait to display order status. And to define it, you will need to specify here trait keyword followed by the name of the trait, that is order status, and then the code block. Say public function followed by order status followed by parenthesis and its code block. Go to the next row, and that's gonna echo say order status, that can be say processing. By the way, this status will be dynamic, but just for the sake of demonstration I have added it as processing, followed by a semicolon. And after that let's define another trait to display shipping date. So that can be say, or let's cut that from here, and I'm gonna copy this trait from here. Let's paste that in here and make some modifications. Say that's gonna be shipping date. And remember that the traits should always start with the uppercase letter. That should also be uppercase S, and classes as well, as far as the naming of the classes and traits are concerned. And then we can have a function that can be say shipping date. That should be lowercase s, shipping date, and that's gonna echo shipping date colon, and that can be say 2023 colon 11 colon 30. After that let's move on to define order class that uses both the traits. Say class, I'm gonna define it as order followed by parenthesis, followed by a code block, and let me add some room here just to go all the way up. And now to insert multiple traits you will need to use literal use keyword, and multiple traits can be inserted into a class by listing them in the use statement separated by commas. Let me show you. Add use keyword followed by the name of the trait, say order status comma followed by the next trait, that is shipping date, followed by semicolon. So that's how you can add multiple traits in a class to use. Now let me get rid of this extra space, and you are ready to create an order and display its details along with the status and shipping date. Say $order equals to new order followed by semicolon, and then let's call its method, that is say $order. You can access here order status followed by semicolon. After that let's add some line break, and then you can also, let's copy that line of code from here and paste that in here. You can also access say shipping date. You don't need to echo it because we have already defined it here in the public functions of each of the trait. So as you hit save, you see the magic. The order status processing and the shipping date is this. This example demonstrates the versatility of traits by incorporating multiple traits into a single class, allowing it to inherit functionalities from various sources for a more comprehensive and modular approach in an e-commerce context. Finally, interfaces versus traits. Interfaces define a contract and ensure that classes implementing them follow a set of method declarations but do not contain any method implementations or a state, whereas traits provide code reusability by sharing methods and properties among classes. Additionally, traits cannot be instantiated on their own, and they can include method implementations and a state. And that was all about object-oriented programming. By the way, you can get this tutorial folder from our GitHub repository and find the link in the description below. And if you have any question, you just feel free to comment below, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for watching and see you next time.